Hello, my beautiful creatives, and welcome back to my art channel. My name is Chrissie B, and I'm a creativity coach hoping to inspire you to live a more creative life every day. Now, today I thought it was a good idea to do another background technique, which is basically how to break a blank page. And I want to show you three different techniques that I used to use a lot, and I probably need to go back to because they're kind of like art journaling 101, and that is using paints. So I'm going to be using inexpensive craft paints today. So feel free to use whatever acrylics you've got on hand. You're also going to need a paintbrush. This happens to be my favorite. It's the Dina Wakley 1-inch brush. I love it. I have lots of them because I love this brush so much. And I'm terrified that they're going to go out of production. I just love them. You're also going to need some kind of a gift card or an old credit card. Don't use a new credit card. You don't want to ruin your new credit cards. But a gift card or a hotel key card, those all work really great. Sometimes you can even get these for free in your junk mail if you look for them. I keep a stack of these on hand because they're very useful. And you'll also need a brayer for today's background techniques. Now these are really, really easy. They're totally something that you can stack with other background techniques. That's what I absolutely love about this. And I'm going to start today by using 3 warm colors. Now I have 7 colors that I'll be using, but 3 of them are at the ready right in front of me. So I'm going to use these 3. And unfortunately, I am talking in the video. I apologize. I had some microphone issues this morning, so I am doing a voiceover for you. But essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the lightest of the 3 colors, and that's what I'm going to start with. And I just want to put a few random dots of this paint all over my spread. And this first technique I'm going to show you, it's my favorite. It's the dry brush technique. It's basically taking your brush and holding it flat to the surface of the canvas or art journal or substrate, whatever you're painting on. And you're going to essentially sweep your brush up and down, side to side, at an angle if you like. I prefer mine straight up and down and straight side to side. But you're just going to kind of brush the paint out as if you're sweeping your floor. And you're going to just drag it out until it's nice and thin and kind of brushy. You'll see lots of brush marks, brush strokes. You'll see it just really, it ends up making the paint really, really, really thin. So when you put your color the way that you want it and it's nice and spread out nice and thin, I always go to a clean area of my palette or my clean area of my art journal, and I just kind of brush off the paint because I quote, I'm cleaning my brush at that point is what I was saying. And so then I'm going to take the next color, which is this orange, and I'm going to just do a couple more dots. And when I say a couple, that means I'm going to do a few. Because apparently I did do 2 on this one. I don't normally. I think I'll probably add more orange. And you just do the same thing. Not only do you sweep your brush through the paint to get it kind of to spread around, you also overlap some of the color that you already put down. The benefit of doing this, and one of the reasons I really like it so much, 1, because it's super easy, 2, because it dries really, really, really quickly. And if you've watched me at all, you know I'm like the world's most impatient artist. I cannot wait for things to dry. It drives me bananas. I am too busy, ready to do the next step. And I also love that if you float your colors over the top of each other, because you're doing such a thin layer of paint, you end up causing there to be many more variations of the paint colors than just your 3 that you are pouring directly out of the tube. So you get different variations of different orangey reds and yellowy oranges, and it just, I love the mix. And you never really know what you're going to get until you just do it. So I am a big believer in really putting your kindergarten cap on when you're going to art journal and just play. You never know what's going to happen, just experiment. Now this is a neon red color. I wasn't sure if I was going to like it or not. It's really, really translucent. I find that the inexpensive craft paints, the neons, are usually very weak. They're not very strong at all. And I really like bright, vivid, vivacious colors. So I'm going to add some more to this. It's always going to stay kind of that salmon-y pink color, which is kind of what it ends up looking like. Something that might be helpful to know is if you decide that you want to put an opposite color on this palette, so I'm using all warms right now, but say you want to put a green on there. If you don't want the green to mix with the colors you've just put down, let this completely dry or heat tool this so it will dry, and then you could add more color on top of it without worrying about the colors mixing. That's some of my best, some of my favorite art journal spreads have just been from random colors that I put together by letting all of the layers dry. So now we're ready for technique number 2. Now technique number 2 is really fun, and I really like doing technique number 2, especially with new art journalers, people who are really worried about making a mess on your art journal page. And essentially what I'm doing is I've chosen 3 different inexpensive craft paints. There's a blue, a purple, and a lime green. And I'm going to take each color one at a time, and I'm going to put kind of a blobby dash at the top of the page a couple times for each color. So I started with the lightest of the 3 colors, and now I'm going in with the blue, and I'm just going to add some more dashes. And dots or dashes doesn't matter. I like doing dashes because it puts a little more paint on there. Although you'll see I've used too much paint for this particular page. So be prepared. Unlike myself, I was not prepared for that. And have some more art journal pages that you can scrape some of the excess paint off of so you don't feel quite so wasteful. I ended up scraping mine onto a paper towel, which is a huge no-no in my head, but you know, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. So you'll see this last color is just the purple. I'm just putting 3 dots at the top. And I don't want the colors to touch at this point, but it really won't matter because they're going to touch. And so what I'm going to show you with my card, and I wanted to show you, but I was trying to show you in a way that you'd be able to see, is you want to hold your card kind of at an angle touching the paper. Because what you're going to do is you're going to take the paint and actually squish it down the page. You're going to drag it down the page. And you're going to kind of squeegee it. It's kind of what you're using that little gift card for. And what you're going to find is you're going to end up with a lot of paint balled up on the end of your card, on the outside edge of your card. Totally fine. Just be aware that that's there so you don't drop paint on your lap or, you know, someplace you don't want it. And I basically just start scraping, and I'm really pressing the card down against the paper as I'm doing this. And you just kind of make any designs that you want, and you make it, you keep overlapping the colors until you get it the way that you like it. Once you like it, just scrape off all the excess, and like I said, put it onto another art journal page or do like I did and put it in the paper towel, and then you'll be able to do more with it. Just be aware that the more that you squeegee this over and over and over again, the more you're actually mixing the colors, and you're not going to be dealing with 3 distinct colors any longer. You'll be dealing with one mixed color of the 3, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to take a moment here, and I'm going to scrape off all the excess and put it on a paper towel. And this page isn't completely dry at this point, but it is pretty close to dry, which is one of the reasons I love these 3 techniques, because they're all really quick to dry because the paint is so thin on there. Yep, pretty much dry. So now it's time for technique number 3. Okay, so for technique number 3, turn the page, Miss Chrissie, catch up to me. So for technique number 3, this is a technique I used to use all the time, and because of this little technique lesson video, I've decided I have to absolutely adopt this again because I absolutely adore it. I have 3 different craft paints that I'm going to be using, and this one you're going to use the Brayer for. Now to do this, I'm going to do 1 dot of color at a time. I want this to be a little bit more controlled. I want to be able to kind of see where my colors are going before I add more. Once you put a dot, all you're going to do is run your Brayer through the paint and just kind of run it all over your page. And then from there, then you decide, do I want to add more of this color? Do I need a different color? And then you add another dot, and you just keep going, and you just keep building that layer upon layer upon layer until you get the background, or this layer at least, this level of color, how you like it. So I'm coming in after using that lime green. I'm now using a blue, and I love this blue. It's so pretty. And I love this technique. It kind of looks like maybe 60s pop art. I don't know. It also gives the illusion of, it's very reminiscent to me of doing paint on a jelly plate. So I don't know if there are any jelly platers out there, but this is what this reminds me of. And I am missing my jelly plate because my jelly plates are all in storage at the moment. So, and storage is a little over an hour away, so it's not quite as convenient as it used to be to go get my supplies for my storage unit. So I'm just adding some more blue. I've decided at this point I'm going to add a few drops of blue just to kind of see what it will do. Yeah, I just love this. I end up loving this page so much that I think I need to go to my soul book and do a page in here, in there with this technique, because I just love this so much. This particular art journal that I'm using is a Canson, I think it's a Canson watercolor or a Canson mixed media book. I can't remember off the top of my head. But it has 60 pages in it. So in my mind, I will do 60 background techniques in this series. So I think with the 3 that I'm showing you today, I think that brings me up to a total of 5 so far. So I have quite a ways to go, but I've been working really hard on doing some research and finding techniques and finding new techniques and trying to, pay attention to what I do and take note of what layers and techniques I use, because I think that all of these really work well together. You can pick any of the different techniques of the 5 so far that I've shown you, and you can stack them on top of each other, and they work beautifully together. Showing you that it's dry. Woohoo! So, yeah, I'm really loving this series. This series is a lot of fun for me. I'm hoping that you're enjoying it. So this one I'm calling my dry brush technique. And I'm sure I'm telling you something fabulous about it, but for the life of me, I can't remember what it was. But that's the dry brush technique. This one I call my gift card technique, because you're just basically scraping paint with a gift card. And I'm sure I'm being very witty here, because I'm hilarious. And then this is the Brayer technique. I love this one. I love this one so blinking much. So there you have it. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope this adds to your repertoire of ways to break a blank page in your art journal. I know that the white page could be very daunting, but so far you have 5 techniques for me. So I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to thumbs up, subscribe, and share with your friends. I would really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you every day. And until next time, bye for now.